They said the party would never end. Factories were roaring. Jazz was the soundtrack to a new America. Stock prices were climbing to the heavens, and everyone called it the new age of endless prosperity. But in the shadows, the system was starting to crack. In just a few weeks, it would all come crashing down, and the modern world would learn a brutal lesson about its own greed. This is the story of the Great Depression and how Wall Street erased generational wealth. The 1920s were a time of dazzling illusions. America had just emerged victorious from the First World War. Factories were churning out cars, radios, and appliances like never before. And credit? Credit was the new miracle. You didn't need savings to live like the rich. You could just borrow from your future. Banks encouraged it, businesses thrived on it, and for the first time, everyday people poured their life savings into the stock market. To invest was to believe, and to believe was to belong. But beneath the surface of this nationwide celebration, speculation was twisting into a dangerous addiction. By 1928, stock prices were hitting new highs almost every week. Newspapers declared a permanent prosperity. Brokers urged everyone, from taxi drivers to school teachers, to buy now or miss out forever. Even banks were borrowing money just to buy more stocks for themselves. This wasn't just greed, it was a profound faith that the system could never, ever fail. Wall Street became the new temple of worship, and its altar was built on leverage. Then came October 24th, 1929, Black Thursday. It started with whispers, a slight dip in prices. Then brokers began to panic, and then the entire floor collapsed. Within hours, billions of dollars vanished into thin air. Phones rang off the hook as investors desperately tried to sell, but there was nobody left to buy. Crowds gathered outside the New York Stock Exchange, watching their dreams evaporate in real time. By the end of that week, America's golden decade was over. The crash wasn't just a financial failure, it was a psychological one. Hope had curdled into fear. Faith had been consumed by fire. The panic quickly spread far beyond Wall Street. The banks that had lent money to stock speculators started to fail. One by one, businesses shut their doors. Families lost everything, not just their savings, but their trust in the future. Factories fell silent. Breadlines stretched for miles. Men who once wore suits were now sifting through trash cans for scraps of food. By 1932, unemployment had skyrocketed to an unthinkable 25%. This wasn't just an economic depression, it was a total collapse of confidence. The very same people who had believed in unlimited growth now believed in nothing at all. The Great Depression exposed the shocking fragility of unchecked markets. It was the ultimate proof that greed is not a strategy, and that speculation, no matter how exciting, always ends in ruin. But it also revealed something deeper about human nature, that the real danger isn't the system itself, but our unshakable belief that it can never fail. Franklin D. Roosevelt took office in 1933, and his first words to a broken nation were a powerful call to action. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. The New Deal followed: massive public works projects, job programs, and strict banking reforms. Slowly, America began to rebuild. But the scars remained. An entire generation had seen the illusion of easy wealth and had paid a devastating price for believing in it. For decades after, people deeply distrusted the stock market. The trauma of 1929 fundamentally changed how the world saw money, not as a dream, but as a danger. Nearly a century later, the same rhythm seems to play on. The dot-com bust, the 2008 financial crisis, the cryptomanias. Each time, the tools and technologies change, but the underlying human pattern doesn't. Greed builds, confidence peaks, and then, inevitably, reality returns with a vengeance. As they say, history doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. The Great Depression wasn't just about money. It was about memory. It's a warning carved into the pages of history, reminding us that prosperity without caution will always, always end in pain. This was the Great Depression. How Wall Street erased generational wealth. I'm Jem, and this is the Money Lab. Because money is always an experiment. The question is, will it create wealth or destroy it? Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into financial history. See you next time.